how I did. And I was wanting some advice. And just like my daddy, you guys didn't give me advice.
I think just like your dad, you were a piss poor communicator. Because I don't remember. Hey, I'm gaslighting the fuck out you right now. I'm an expert gaslighter. I don't think you asked for advice.
I did.
He did. I heard it. That's the one part I was listening to. Yeah.
You asked for advice. What was the advice you wanted to?
Well, and then he told the long story, and so you guys forgot by the end. Of the story.
Hey, listen, I hate these second motherfuckers. Let me tell you.
So by the end of it, you're just like, oh, there's a story. I'm hooked now.
Yeah. So what was the piece of advice you wanted me to answer?
Was I in the right for making the decision I made? Or in your eyes, or
no, you're always in the right for making the decision you make. I just think, are you willing to pay the consequences?
Oh yeah, of course.
No. Yeah, I would say you're in the wrong, but for not the reason you would expect.
I like him.
Interesting.
For not the reason you expect, because it's not good for you.
You don't think so?
No, hell no.
Why?
No, because you're seeking justice, and you never get justice by seeking it. Mm-hmm. You get the opposite every time. 100% of the time. This is what I did against. This is what I did against my dad for so many years on firewatch in the Marine Corps.
Pause. I want you hold on. Pause this because we're going to start the episode.
Oh yeah,
you're going to start the episode right here. I want you. No. This is how we're going to start it right here.
Start.
Hey, it's already over here. I'm going to hit start. It's already, once they close that door.
In their seat, expect to be recorded.
Yeah, we were.
No. I mean, start the timer. Whatever we talk about off camera, I'm cool with it.
It's on camera. We're recording.
Yeah, or whatever.
I'm starting the clock right now. So he's going to go ahead. So you were talking about. Hold on. Here we go. There we go. Why'd you turn the camera off? I want to watch.
No.
I do. I will catch myself like this.
I know.
Damn, I look good. Hey, hold on. Damn. So that's how it all worked out. Yeah, that's how it all worked out. Now that I'm thinking about it, okay. You were talking about, Dustin, you asked for advice.
Yeah, I asked for advice.
And I failed to ask you, I failed to deliver on the advice.
Yes.
What did you want? You wanted to know what we thought, what I thought, and our guest here thought about your story about your dad.
Yeah, and say, hey, more, I'm not looking for validation, but more like, hey, this is what I went through. Was this a right decision in your opinion?
So I was interested because you immediately came off and popping off. See, I thought you were just like, okay, I guess, you're all right because you had to make a decision. You, however, disagree for a different reason, though.
Yeah. So anytime you seek justice for something, you're not going to get it, right?
Time out. Mm-hmm. What you guys got to understand, though, you got to go watch the episode. I don't know. It's probably called Dustin's Daddy Issues.
It was.
To go check out.
It was supposed to be on another Marines Issues, but somehow we took a turn to the left and made it about the co-hosts.
So you're saying I'm seeking.
So as long as you are taking action against someone else, they have control over you. Period. Right? Even if you think you're gaining control by doing this, they've just controlled your actions by you as seeking justice towards them. And you're never going to get it that way. So for decades of my life, probably about 25 years. I had a sadistically abusive dad. That's why I joined the Marine Corps at 17 years old. I thought I was getting away from abuse. It was just a different color, green, So that's how it was.
Dark green.
Yeah, dark green, camouflage, whatever else it is. So, but here's the thing. So I mean, this will sound terrible. In the Marine Corps, this is how bad my anger issues were towards my dad. And it wasn't just neglect. It was abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, all the fun stuff. He was creative with it too. And, I on a 24-hour fire watch in the Marine Corps, I would keep myself awake by dreaming of how I could kill and torture my dad to get justice. Right? That's how I'd keep myself awake. And that sounds messed up, and it is. But that's even though that sounds terrible, I didn't know this until much longer. Later in my life, it comes from the most beautiful place in us, that justice feeling. It comes from the best part. It comes from our morals, right? Our moral being, or our moral core, I would call it. But the problem is it's misdirected. the more I tried to seek justice over my dad, and we want it so bad. Our moral being wants it so bad. It's desperate for justice. That's why, justice is what every war has been fought on. It's the difference between, liberals and conservatives fighting and Christians and Muslims, you name it. Everyone's fighting for justice, and people get manipulated because of justice. And then they're under control because of that. You end up being a prisoner of this need for justice or to protect myself. And we justify justice by morally explaining it. Now, it comes from the best part of you, though. Here's the thing, though. My dad put me down here on the scales of life, right? These are the scales. He put me down here. I put me down here. And there was points in my life when I was suicidal, when I would do anything. I would be like, I'm not going to go to their house. I'm not going to take my kids there. I'm not going to do this. I would do all of these things. And there was times where I was like, I'm going to end my life. That's how much I wanted justice. And it wasn't because I didn't want my life. It was literally because if it will hurt him a little bit, if it'll bring him down a little bit, that's how much I wanted it, right? Now, would that have been right? No, that's why I never did it. And after I'd gone to war, seen all kinds of stuff, already taken lives and things like that, I'm like, why don't I kill my dad? And that sounds, again, terrible. Mm-hmm. But I was contemplating this, like, why don't I? I've literally killed people for less reasons. So why don't I? And I realized that the reason why I wouldn't do it is because something deep down knew that it wouldn't actually even the scales. It would, again, put me down further. Right? And any action you take towards justice puts you down further because, again, you're in control over it. Even if you think you're, evening the scales with your whatever else. So here's the thing I realized. To even the scales and to get true justice, there is only one answer. Only one. It's not seeking more justice because the further you seek it, the worse it gets. Right. It is literally realizing that you never needed to seek it in the first place because the weight that's put on you was put on them, was back and back and back. My dad was sadistically abused as well as a kid. And so, it's just been passed on, and we're all sitting in this stuff, right? So it's hurt him as much as it's hurt you. And here's the other thing. It's still hurting him. He's probably trying to connect with these kids, partly because he feels like he's failed you. He's trying to offset that justice and make things right again. And you're preventing that by trying to seek justice over these things. And it's not because of a lack of care for you. It's not because he's preferring you over someone else. We're all responding to this life, and this life's not always easy.
Mm-hmm. True. Right. And I can see where you would come to a conclusion like that, and it would be, and that's not, you're not wrong, but
pause. Be careful when you do that.
You're not wrong.
So
but
to say you're not wrong and then say, but you're essentially saying he's wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
So then
which that's fine. Challenge me.
So
where am I wrong?
Where I came to the conclusion, how I came to the conclusion was the story was already been written throughout action, throughout my relationship with him.
You're about to get jacked up. I'm about to jack you up.
Now, the story's already been written, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'd always be the bigger person to go back and try to reconcile our differences. Mm-hmm. And so this time it was like, damn, like where do we stop? How does this stop? Mm-hmm. And damn, Dad, you really just haven't, ever since I left, even before that, you weren't really there. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, like I only have certain room on my team for the people that are going to matter the most. And so it came from a decision of like, all right, I keep pouring into something and I keep trying to get something out of this I'm not getting out of it. There's no filling the cup. There's no restoring the love. Like, but let bygones be bygones. Hey, man, like, hey, we tried. See you later. I hope you live a decent, happy life the rest of your life. I got to live mine. I got to move forward on with what I'm doing.
But you said the book's written. right? You have a book. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, it's written. I haven't published it
You said,
yet, but yeah.
You said the book was written.
Yeah,
the story's been written.
Yeah,
right?
story's already been written. Yeah.
Okay. Here's the problem with that phrasing, and you technically screwed yourself because I asked you one question in the last episode.
Yeah.
I said, if he had given you the money, would you have read the book the way you read it and picked all the individual pieces, gone through the file system, and said, bad, I'm out. If he'd given you the money, you would never look back. That doesn't change the way the book was written or the stories that you were told. What it did, though, is it would have changed the pieces of the story you went back and looked at. Instead of going, thanks, Dad, for the money, you would have went, support. And
the book wouldn't be written.
I don't think
the book would have been ongoing.
No. You're talking about this book. Let me talk about this for just a second, okay?
Can we introduce you first? Because the guests are listening. You know what? Hold on. No, he's gonna hit. Okay,
go for it.
Go ahead. Get him in there.
All right. So not only I've known Nathan for a while, Nathan Sutton. He's a man who wears many hats. And plus, welcome to the Parent Therapy is Full podcast.
Yep.
Please like, subscribe, and hit the comment button and share the episodes and show the love. And please, I'm going to say it again, comment down below. I'm your host, Dustin Hayes, owner of Red, White, and Badass Brew.
Terrence Davis, Dream Team ST. All your real estate needs, we got you.
Boom. And we got a badass guest on today named Nathan Sutton.
He's a
wears
badass
many
because he's a Marine.
hats. Oh,
Automatically.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. There's real men on this stage. Finally, thank God. I've been outnumbered for far too long. Like the last 17 guests have all been like Navy, and he brought like some Coast Guard guys on. I don't even know why they were on the show. They don't even have actual combat experience. Finally, we get some men on the stage.
I identify as neutral.
Okay, well, he's not. Obviously,
I love that I was a Marine, but you know what? We're all on this boat.
We are all on the boat. We just some people are better. But okay, so you're about to hit him with the.
Some people have more fun. That doesn't mean they're better.
Yes, this is true. So the book comment. So the book. So his last comment was the book's already written. The book's written.
Yeah. No. Here's that's not reality. So we like to build all of this stuff up in our mind. Here's the reality. Life doesn't give you good or bad in life. It gives you a fact, and that's it. And then we decide how we're going to look at and use that fact, no matter how wonderful and beautiful something is or how horrible, wrong, and cruel something is. Don't waste it, period, the end. But here's another thing about this. The past no longer exists anywhere but in your imagination, not in your memory. Not in your memory. It's your imagination. There's little pieces of memory that you build your imaginative past on, but here's the thing. You do not imagine things accurately.
This is true. Facts. There are studies to show that your memories and your memories.
This book is something you rewrite based on your feelings and how you're filtering it through your feelings and looking at those quote unquote memories. But again, it's your imagination. You only have your perspective. You don't have, you're not all seeing and things like that. And so you're bringing all of this with you into the present. And again, it's still controlling your actions. Even in cutting someone off, that's still controlling your actions, right? And I did the same thing with my dad. I wanted a relationship desperately with a dad. I don't know why. I mean, it's just something inherent in you that you want to connect with your dad. And my birth father was a drug addict, drug dealer, things like that. My stepdad was abusive, like I said. The reality is, I still wanted that. No matter how bad he treated me, he never, all this stuff I could go into, my sob story, whatever else. But no matter how bad that was, I still wanted that relationship. Mm-hmm. And eventually, I did one of the most healthy thing for myself, but I went too far. The most healthy thing for myself was to get rid of that weight of what I need, because I don't actually need that. I wanted it, but I don't need it. No. Does that mean that I need to cut him off or distance myself from him or things like that? No. The only reason you're needing to protect yourself from that thing is because you're still holding on to these feelings that you feel threatened from. You need to deal with those feelings, because then you won't be threatened. You'll be able to see him and be okay with that and just love him for the hurt child that he still is.
I agree. I definitely agree.
I feel a butt coming on.
Huh?
I feel like you're about to butt me.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to butt you. I agree. There is.
Gonna call him?
What?
You gonna call him?
What is it?
You gonna call him?
I'm like, no, I ain't gonna call him. No, I can agree. Just not take the action on it. There's a thing when you go into the feelings and this side of it that you don't go back and revisit these traumas, right? Because that's not where I'm going.
Are we talking about going back and visiting trauma?
But when you go back and you rekindle or you have that conversation with somebody, right? After extended period of not talking, you're going to go back and have that conversation of, hey, what happened? Why did this? And now you're going to have to go, or
Why?
you don't have to.
Why?
Or you don't. So you won't have that conversation. You're not going to answer that question. You're going to be like, hey, why did we do this?
The better question to ask is, why do you need to have that conversation?
I don't.
Hold. You can't say you don't, but the first thing you said is, when I see you, we're going to revisit this conversation.
Because I know how he is.
Do you?
I do.
Do you have any control on that conversation? If you were to,
Absolutely.
If you were to go in and diffuse it by saying, hey, you know what? The past was the past, and I want you to know that I've healed, because you first need to heal, right? That's number one.
I've healed from it. I've accepted everything that's happened. And
can you say that you're not harboring any resentment or anything at all?
No. Like if I saw him today, it wouldn't make me like, oh, I hate this fucking dude. Like again, I don't hate my dad.
I feel like, to be fair, editor, can you throw up the last second of just like the last 4 minutes? There's a portion there where, after end of the speech, he said, "Fuck you, Tony." Can we just slap that over? As soon as you said, "I don't harbor any more resentment," can you just slap "Fuck you, Tony" in like an instant replay? That's what you said.
That was for Tony.
No, Tony is your. Who's Tony?
Tony. No, that's not my dad. Was his dad.
Okay. Well, I mean,
not his dad, but that was
fuck your dad too. I don't know who's fucking.
Yeah, no. So that's why I was like, no, fuck Tony, because
I don't know why we saying fuck Tony.
Because Tony's
out. Tony's not even here.
Tony's Corey's dad. So
I think the problem for me with this, and this is what I had to learn, is I think what you're kind of saying now is, when I had that hatred in me for him, I was so, just like hearing his voice set me down a path. And when he tried to sell me the phone, I was angry, and I said, you know what? This was a mistake. I appreciate you reaching out. I really do appreciate you coming at me. I'm not ready to have this conversation just yet. I look forward to talking again sometime later. And then when it was over, it was gone. All of the pain and anger and resentment went out the window, because I didn't need to hold on to. And that's really what it was. I'm doing exactly what he said. Yeah. I held on to it, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be my dad because he did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not holding my dad. I don't even think about it anymore. I would honestly tell you, we don't. They got invited me to a family barbecue, and the first word out of my brother's mouth is, "Yo, if we see him, you gonna say something to him?" Yeah, I'm gonna say, "Hey." I'm gonna say, "Hey." Well, you're better than me. I'm not saying shit to him. Fuck him. I'm like, why? We have no. I just don't see it in me anymore to be that. I can't hate someone.
Did you go to the party?
No, I was here, so I couldn't.
Oh, gotcha.
But I've thought about reaching out. The thought for me is, it's the thought of like, hey, I'm going to do it just for my own peace, because the internal turmoil that caused me hating him caused me grief, and that perfect. By the way, perfect analogy. When he said, like, it brought me down here, all I saw was my self-worth. Yeah. And I just kept seeing. That's as soon as he said, I was like, holy shit! I think he's about to therapize me. He said, I went down here, my shit. And everything I did under the lens of, well, if I do better, then he'll recognize me and he'll see me. So, I achieved this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And every achievement that I should have celebrated did nothing but bring me further down, because I never got validation.
Yeah, achievements and failures. And you beat yourself up for the failure, and you say my achievement's not enough, right?
Hey, I have told somebody, if there's anything that I will say the Marine Corps will trauma you with, it's hey, we got the mission done half the time we expected. And everybody goes, what's the next mission? Yep. Hey, you showed up late. Let's rag on this for 45 minutes. And we just beat down the negative so much that I would do that. I would just beat myself down with my negativity, beat myself down with my positivity. And it's because I wanted validation from him. I wanted to do something so grand that he would acknowledge me. Yeah. And you know what I'll never get? That acknowledgement. Yeah. He's living his own life. He doesn't even know where I am.
I disagree. I think you've given yourself the acknowledgement you needed.
Yes. But I gave it to me. The truth is, not him.
And that's you are correct when you say that. Is I no longer needed his validation. I no longer need his approval. I no longer need his advice.
I would say
I don't.
We're good there.
okay, but that's an extra step though. It's like, hey, I'm going to cut off everything, not just the part that was hurting me before, but everything, right?
He never really gave me good advice anyway.
Okay.
I mean,
can you say never?
I mean,
never.
I hate never. No, so the problem is when you say never. Okay, so let me figure.
He always avoided.
Let's play this back.
You know, so it was like, God damn, bro. Like, I'm asking you a question. Just give me something. One thing. You know what I mean? And then it's always the hem-haul passive-aggressive bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, fuck. You just gave me both sides of the equation. Like, I'm going to ask you, I need one or the other. As a young man.
Can I tell you that was still advice?
That was still advice.
You recognize now that's not the way to communicate. He was a great bad example for you.
Correct.
That's
right?
an example.
So even if he didn't know how to have the words, even his lack of words is something you've learned from, and so still value.
Yes.
And then even then, I mean, I'll be honest with you, it was such a bad it was such a bad example that you then followed it up and gave it to your son. It was such a bad example that your father set, this lack of support, that you said, son, I'm going to give you, and you said it, so I'm going to re-quote your words. I'm going to give you what I needed when I was your age, what my father gave me. So clearly you do think he gave you something good because you said he did. I was a fucked up kid. I was doing fucked up shit, and I needed to get kicked out or I wouldn't have fucking learned a lesson. Your dad taught you that, and then who'd you teach it to?
My son.
And now guess what? The cycle continues.
Well, ish.
Okay, go ahead.
Ish. So, you know, I kicked him out, but he went to his grandparents. So, you know.
Well, I mean, but is that the ish that you wanted to?
No.
Were you going to intellectualize how your kicking him out was different than your dad kicking him out?
No, there was nothing different.
Okay. Well,
there was nothing. Yeah, there was nothing different. It was on the same level. I wasn't doing the right thing. My son wasn't doing the right thing. You know, I can only do so much for you when you allow me to do so much for you. And again, I can acknowledge that my dad can only do so much for me, and only the stuff I would allow myself to do and get done. So he tried. I'm sure he tried. He did. He was the best father he could have been with the work that he had. You know what I mean?
Like you one of these.
Yeah.
No. It's
so.
Not, it's not,
so again, this doesn't come from a place of hate. Like, I don't hate my dad.
None of this is coming from a place of hate.
None of
this right now. Before maybe let's disagree.
Oh, it's hot. He makes me heated. But
so then there's still, if he can push your buttons, that means there's a button to push, and that's your responsibility, not his.
Right. Well, it was all three of us in here. Our guests before.
Yeah.
Before.
Oh, now it's all our.
No. Because it was like, fuck, man. 3 examples of fucking dads we don't want.
Yeah, now you can add me too.
You know what I mean? So I was like, jam, this guy, and then it wasn't just my dad. It's your dad. The conclusion of this guy wanted to reach out and have him part. Like, dude, bro, like, there's a time and a place. I think they are supposed to be involved, and when I can't, my time is very limited, and my time is very sacred. As just all of our time is, because that's one thing we can't get back.
Yeah.
No matter how much money we make, once that minute's gone, that minute's gone. There's no reversing the fucking clock.
Time and energy are like Social Security. It's a set amount, and it ain't that much.
All the more.
I fucking love that analogy.
So careful where you spend it. Okay.
That's what I come when going through therapy is really what's come down to, and the most thing that I cherish the most is my time. And now my energy, my time and my energy is what I cherish the most. The money isn't there. I don't give a shit because guess what? We always go make more money, whatever the case may be. But that time and energy is what I cherish the most. And I only want to allot that to little I have to the people that matter the most to me. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna disagree with you on one piece. It's the one thing you said. I want you speaking for me. I can speak for myself. You said we were all agreeing on the fathers that we didn't want, the fathers we didn't have, right? Or we didn't have, we didn't want. We didn't want. That's you said. I thought you said didn't want. The fathers we didn't want. That's not why I was upset and angry. I was upset and angry because I was grieving the father I did want.
Yeah.
And that's the father I wasn't getting.
Well said. And I think he said that too, in other words.
Yeah. And the truth is, I was grieving the father I did not get. But at the same time, there's two things that have come up in my therapy sessions as of late. There's an obligation, there's an opportunity. Mm-hmm. The truth is, right now, I have the opportunity to learn about this man that I clearly care about, because clearly I care. If he's even able to remotely push a button of mine, fuck you, I care. Okay, let's figure this shit out. That's me acknowledging my feelings and not pushing myself down so I can make myself feel better. That's what the intellectualizing of the pain does. I don't need him. I only have a set amount of time and I better not do it. Well then, okay, but then here's what happens. It happened to my wife, and I used to tell her, I really think you should reach out to your dad. I really think you should reach out. I don't care about him. If he died, I wouldn't care at all. He died.
Did he?
He
Your
died.
dad died?
No, her dad.
Oh, her dad died?
Her dad died. Yeah. And I will tell you on this podcast, Terrence Davis, Terrible Husband 101, come to my class. I will teach you how not to be a good husband.
$199 a month.
$199 a month. I will teach you how to be a terrible, terrible husband. When he died in his apartment by himself. Mm-hmm. He died at the door. Oh. When we got there, the neighbors were saying he just kept yelling, Katie, Katie, Katie. And her whole face, she just sobbed and boo-hoo cried. Mm-hmm. He's gone. I'll never get to talk to him again. He's gone. I won't ever get this opportunity. He's gone. He's gone. And I looked at her and said, told you so.
Yeah.
It's easy to talk about the shit we don't care about from a place of privilege. It's a place of privilege to say, I don't give a fuck about my dad. Fuck him. If he's gone, I don't care. That's a place of privilege. Because the place that he and I were on at the time, we don't know our dads. You do. It's a place of privilege to say, oh, I don't care if he goes. I knew my dad. He's a piece of shit. We didn't.
Yeah.
For her to say, I don't care if he goes away. I'm not going to feel sad. That's a place of privilege because you don't know what you're going to feel when he's gone. Mm-hmm. Now he's gone, and now you're left with this emptiness because now you can't get the answer. So you said one thing that I love, time and energy. How much time and energy you think she poured into asking questions to a ghost that she'll never get answered because instead of talking to him.
But I think that's what you guys are talking about too, is that's, you haven't moved on from the trauma and everything that's happened. If you have questions at the end of the day, you're like,
you won't. But see, here, the place of privilege is you don't know if you do or don't until he's gone.
I've already had the funeral.
I used the same word he used. I grieved my dad. When my dad called me and apologized at a certain point, and I already told him, "Hey, look, you didn't have to apologize anything. I've already forgiven you." And
do you talk to your dad now?
I do. And not on a regular basis. Yeah. We're not
fucking friends.
Yeah, we're not buddy all the time or anything like that. But when I'm around, I treat him like anyone else, and I still will ask him about his life. I'll still, I'll still be interested because he's another human being. If he was anyone else on the street, I would give him the same respect. Whereas before, I wouldn't give him that same respect because I was holding on to things, even though I said I forgave him, even though I told him that, all of this stuff I've let go, you're not in my head all the time. Well, every once in a while I would get triggered, something would happen, my kid would do something that would remind me about my pain, which would remind me about where it came from, and I would blame my dad again, and then I'd be like, "Ugh." It's still there, but it wasn't until now I actually have tons of love for my dad. Like, I look at him, I don't look at all the mistakes he made because those were all his responses to life, and life isn't always easy. What I look at now is I see him, he's a hurt kid. And I have an opportunity, as he said, and I was going to use that same word, opportunity. You have an opportunity, not just for you, but also for him, to help him heal from it, right? You're saying here on this podcast things that you're not saying to him. Mm-hmm. Hey, he did the best he could with what he had and all this other stuff. You're saying here on this podcast what you have the opportunity to say to him right now.
But I have said this to him, and the two other times that we didn't talk, or three, I've said this to him, and so how
did he respond? But let me ask this question because it's a specific reason why I'm asking. Did he respond favorably in the way that you would have preferred?
I think any response is favorable. I think him just responding to it is showing some openness.
What do you say?
But it wasn't long. I can't even remember. He was just like, rough childhood. something like that. I was like, yeah, Dad, I get it. Like, you had a rough childhood. I didn't have it that great. Like, I had a good childhood. I mean, I didn't have it bad, I mean, there's episodes in it that were bad.
That's a great way to look at the book.
But right now, both of you have the opportunity to make any future you want. If you're not bringing the past into the present. Again, the past only exists in your memory, which is only your imagination, and you guys are both imagining the worst parts.
No, I don't. Like I said, when I got through the bullshit of my bullshit, and again, it wasn't him; it was my bullshit that I was going through, and I was going through a lot at the same time. I was dealing with bankruptcy. It was the same time I kicked my son out of the house. Yeah. Losing my house, like mother, daughter. Some other things happened with my older daughter. Yeah. There was a fucking lot going on at that time. Me trying not to commit suicide. So there's a whole bunch into this whole realm that was going on. Lawsuits. I mean, fuck.
Sounds like you were overwhelmed.
Yeah. Oh, 200%. I was like, one of the things I remember him saying is like, "Oh, just go get a job." I was like, "Dude, I can barely tie my fucking shoes in the morning." You mean go get a job?
Yeah,
like,
to you
there's no way I can function.
Probably sounded a little insensitive. You're like, "I'm coming to you with this."
No. But I get where I get where he was coming from. But I was like, "Dude, I can't go get a fucking job. Like, I can't even wake up and function."
Did you tell him that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I tried.
Wait, was it oh yeah or I tried?
I tried. He wasn't always. He didn't like to talk about feelings.
Yeah, he hasn't done. He's the same burden he's carrying.
Oh yeah. So, dude, he has not healed one fucking bit.
But
he's a retired firefighter. Back in the old fucking day.
What if he didn't have to lift this weight? Because that's both of you guys lifting weight day in, day out, 100 reps. 365 reps, whatever. Every day he's lifting weight, reps. Right? But the problem is if it's all.
Is that how much you bench press?
315 for reps, bitch.
If all you ever do, since if all you ever do is lift, what happens? You tear down everything inside you. And so here's the thing. If you can help to take off that weight, help him heal and things like that, your relationship might have the opportunity to be completely different than what your expectation of its limits are. But that won't happen unless if you first have taken off the weight yourself. If you were walking into a gym and you saw someone, and this is just an analogy for you and him, okay?
Okay.
If you're walking into a gym and you see someone bench pressing 1,000 pounds, like, dang, that's awesome, right? That's like, you would root for that person, and it's like, damn, look at that. That's amazing. Do you think that person on their last rep, when they're halfway up and they can't quite get and they're shaking, do you think they feel awesome? No, everything else fades away. If they go up, if someone comes up to them and says, "Hey, you got this. This is awesome. This is great." They're not hearing that.
Yeah, right.
They're feeling the crushing of this weight, which means he's all focused on holding this up. So adding another 5 pounds to it, you trying to talk to him and get answers from him, get love from him, get all this other stuff from him, is just like trying to throw extra weight on top of it. Now, here's another side to that. Let's say you walk into that same gym and that same person is lifting that 1,000 pounds. Only now, this time when you walked in and you see that, all you see is the bar. And you judge them based off that bar. They're sweating and they're crying and they're like, or they're trying to tough it out and like, I'm not going to try to talk about emotions. I don't want to talk about emotions. You're going to look at the bar and be like, what the heck?
Lift it up.
Push it. You got this.
Push it, bitch.
Get a job. He doesn't see your full weight, right? You don't see his. And you're judging each other.
That's fucking hard, dude.
All right, that's this episode of Therapy with Phil, y'all. Hey, listen, we're all going to call our dads now. And, hey, every episode, I guess.
Should we get them all together?
So,
apparently.
We convince ourselves of the same thing. We convince ourselves we're just lifting the bar. All I got to do is get up and put in an application. Why? I know I've done much harder things. I've been to war 3 times. I've done this. Why is just getting out of bed crushing me? Well, you're pretending as if it's just a bar. You got all this invisible weight. You've convinced yourself, you're convincing other people, and we're all walking around saying, tough it up, push it up, you got another one, whatever else. Here's the thing. You know how I know both of you guys are incredibly strong people, and even your dad is an incredibly strong and moral and wonderful person? Because all of this weight and everything else that you guys are carrying means obviously you're strong. I can see it because I stopped ignoring my own weight, so I started seeing it in other people. I saw it in my dad first. First person to ever hurt me was the first person that came to mind when I finally realized all the weight that I was carrying, my kids were carrying, my dad was carrying, and I see all of this, injustice going on. And I finally was able to let it go because I realized, hey, dude, like we're both like on this bench, like what the frick is going on with life? But here's the cool thing. If you can ever put that weight down, that's the only time you grow back the muscles. So if you can help him to put down that weight because you put down yours, think of the capacity that he will have to actually show love towards you. He's tried to love you, but he's holding all this weight. If he didn't have that weight, how much could he have loved you and shown it and been there for you? Advice. I guarantee you he's not a dumb guy because he had you, right? You're a smart person. He's a smart person, but he's using all of his energy. Smart enough. Smart enough.
You're working on it.
Hey, push. I'm at that weight.
I've known you long enough to know, right? That you have some wisdom to you. You've got some life wisdom and everything else, and that's beautiful and wonderful. He has that same thing, but he's using it all.
No.
It's not that he didn't love you or want to reach for you. It's like, what do I do? If I reach for him, boom. If I talk about emotion, all the emotion I'm holding, boom, it's gonna crash.
So I got a monkey wrench to throw at you then, since we're doing this. Okay, so I don't want to be a hypocrite, so I'm gonna keep it real.
All right.
Okay, I'm holding a weight, and the issue that I've got right now.
It's not 315, by the way.
It's first off, let me tell y'all right now. For reps and sets, you're welcome. I got video. I'm 1,000 pound club, baby. And honestly, it was pretty easy. When I got here, I was holding a weight. I was holding it. And everyone around me kept throwing their weights on. Very few, I'm going to remove you for a second. Very few people I could say, hey man, like, do you need help? Honestly, I thought that's where you were going to go for a second. I thought you were going to go, hey, like, Dustin, imagine you came over here and you saw that guy about to fail, he's about to die, and you lifted the weight up for him. Because that's how you push your buttons. That's how you push your boundaries.
Or you convince them to put it down because you can't really help with someone's weight,
Yeah,
they have to put it down.
1,000 pounds, bro. You got to let that shit go. The problem, though, is I'm under this weight, and everybody's adding on to the fucking weight.
Yeah.
And then,
because they only see the bar, so they don't see the bar. They think you can take it, right?
So now I knew, but here's the problem. I'm not that communicator. I'm going to tell you I'm full. I'm maxed out. Please stop adding. I can barely push this shit off that I got, and you're not strong enough to help me get this off. So maybe I should put it down. Maybe I should have quit. Maybe I should all these things. The point is, I didn't put the weight down. I mustered this intestinal fortitude to push the weight off my chest. Now I'm going, okay, I got it off. I almost died. I could have quit. I could have committed suicide. I could have done I could have quit, packed my shit, went to the oil fields and been done. I got it off. They were like, oh, hey, come be a contractor overseas. I could have done anything else other than what I'm doing. And my moral code said, no, you can do this. You're strong enough. Finish this shit out and build the shit you said you set your mind to.
Yep.
How do I hold space for the people that threw the weight?
Easy, because you fooled them to thinking you only have a bar in the first place. So it's not their fault they put it on.
Oh, fuck.
Even though I was telling them the bar is full. The bar is loaded. I don't have the phrasing that I use.
They don't see it. If you're not specific, they don't see the weight. If you're like, you're basically telling them this bar is too heavy, and they see the bar and they're like, that's too heavy? I don't think that's too heavy. That's why, because you've convinced them, even though you're communicating that, I hate the thing, I'm busy. How are you? Oh, I've been busy. Are you really busy? No, you're spending 80% of your time, on TV, flipping on your phone, whatever. How much are you really working? The reality is you're telling them, I am too tired. I don't have the energy, but they don't actually see the weight. And so they'll still put it on because they're like, okay, well, I get that you're tired, but it's just a bar. You're not telling me anything specific with that communication.
I'm very communicative. I'll give you an example.
Sure. Yeah.
So when I got here, the wife and I are going through our things. What started the bulk of the beef was I'm 35, rebuilding a new real estate business in a new area, on a dude's couch because we were building this thing together, I don't have my kids. I don't have my family. I don't have consistency in income. I feel like they're failing. I'm listening to her. I'm consoling her and reassuring her as she's going through the financial weight and having to take care of the kids, because that is in and of itself, that's weight on her. I look over and I can see the weight that's on her, so I don't want to add any more of my own. She calls and we're talking, and like 4 or 5 days straight of crying. And I'm consoling. This very last day I said, hey, I hear you and I understand that right now you're going through a lot. I am at my wit's end. My plate is full right now mentally. Between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right now I don't have the space. Can we just, not tonight? Can I just not be that rock for you tonight? I can't take the extra pressure.
Yeah.
And then it was, okay, well, since you can't take the extra pressure, I'll go talk to somebody else who I can go console and confide in. And then that's what, and then again, that's her prerogative to go do that. That's not the point. Now that I've pushed out of this thing, and it's her, it's a bunch of like other people that were helping her and supporting, like, oh yeah, we don't see the weight. And you're right. I completely see where you're right. They didn't need to see it. I should have communicated it, so I can let those people go. But if you were in my circle, you knew, because I did tell you the pressure I was under. I told you about the abandonment. You knew what was going on. And instead of helping me out of that situation, you chose to add. And you kept adding and you kept adding and kept adding. And when I told you, hey, you're still adding, I really can't do this anymore. Hey, you're adding on. Hey, you're not respecting our relationship. Why are you not respecting our relationship? Oh, I don't care. Here you go. I'm at a place now where I don't think you should come to my gym anymore. And I get that I'm coming from an angry place, but that's
So marriage is a different topic because you both share the same bar. And that's just the reality. And that's
but
so
that's
now hold on a minute. You're good. You're looking for the justice statement. Don't do it. Don't try to justify justice.
I'm biting it. I'm eating it.
Don't fucking come on here and be dropping bars and shit.
I know we're supposed to be talking about VA benefits.
Oh my god.
Read those next.
So here.
Okay.
So, buddy, there's a difference. Okay. It is a circle that is supposed to be happening. You are made by design, and you're made in a different way than she is. And in a marriage, you both share the bar, and it's not the same bar. It's the same bar, but it's not the same weight. Okay?
Okay.
You each have different weights and things like that. However, you both have the responsibility to carry that in a different way. Problem is, you're thinking that you have to fix the problem. And that's the weight you're like, I don't have energy to do that. She didn't need that anyways. She is very capable of doing the thing that that you think you don't have energy for. Here's the reality. Women and men's brains are built differently. That's the one thing we can physically see with science now. There's a connector between the emotional and the cognitive side, the thinking side, right? There's a connector. For men, that's like a garden hose. You can kink it, you can shut it off and be like, I'm going to be emotionally unavailable like your dad. Or like you're like, hey, I'm going to cut this off and just do what I need to do. And since I'm in that process, I don't have the capacity to feel what you are going to bring here, right? Or to fix your problem because I'm spending all my energy in trying to hold myself up and lift my own weight. Here's the reality. She could have helped you with your weight if she supported in the right way. Because here's the beautiful part about our brains. It's so incredibly designed when you do it right. Because here's the reality. Men can shut that off. Women can't. It's more like a fire hose. That emotion is always, always on. Now, some can cut it off, some, become numb and things like that. But even that numbness is literally an overpowering of emotion to overpower the rest. And then they become numb. So it's not different. It's different than our type of numbness. Our type of numbness is cutting off the emotions. Their type of numbness is I'm going to get overwhelmed with the emotions to where I'm not thinking anymore. Now, here's the reality. When men do their part in the relationship, what they are supposed to do is, since they can kink that hose and shut off the emotion, right? This is why we make really great leaders and things like that, right? Because we can shut it off and just make the decisions. That's great, but it's not meant for doing. You're supposed to be able to kink that hose, shut off the emotions so that you can listen to her, help her reduce her emotions. Because in a woman's brain, when life starts getting difficult, the emotions start to rise. Emotions make it hard for anybody to think. That's why guys shut it off. But women can't shut it off. So now it's harder to think now that the emotions rise. So then the thinking has to overpower, and then the emotions catch up and then eventually they get up here, and then we call them crazy. But here's the thing: you didn't do your job.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So here's the reality in this. This is the truth. And I developed a program I call Truth First Life Coaching. You cannot build a future on anything but truth.
I agree.
Period. Here's the truth. You had an opportunity, even though you were exhausted and all this stuff is going on, you didn't have to do anything. You had to hear. You had to cut off the stuff which you were already doing, and you just had to sit back, take time, space. You don't have to join her emotion. You have the power, the ability to do that. And when you do it right, you're supposed to cut off the emotions so that your cognitive side can help her with her emotion, not her problems. And then when her emotion goes down, women are they have a superpower for dealing with problems.
Or creating them.
They create them, but that's emotionally driven, right?
Yeah.
So when the emotion is down, when you've done your part in the relationship as a man to cut off the emotions so that you can deal with her emotions, not her problems, not fixing things, not more things on your to-do list, just helping with that, letting off steam. Then they can think very clearly, and they can help you re-access your emotions because their emotions are always on. And that's the cycle of a natural relationship.
I agree with that part. I think after reflection, I can recognize where, as the arguing and the starting and the bickering started, oh, you didn't mostly support me, blah, blah, blah. And I started to agree. Like as a husband, I could definitely agree that like I may have failed you. Like I can agree
and
with that.
It would have helped you if you did it the right way. And so thus, you could have supported yourself by supporting her.
Correct. Now, the problem for me, and this is I'm trying not to intellectualize it, but if you're saying that I need to look at it differently, I can do that. The problem for me is not only when I did not hold you, and I can admit that I did not hold you well, you then said, all right, well, let me put this extra weight on, but while I'm at that, let me go get these other people to come watch you fail and have them also throw their weight on. Hey, here you go, pile your shit on. Hey, more people come on.
People make dumb decisions when their emotions are up. And again,
and I'm glad you said, okay.
They can't kink it like we can.
Correct. Now, so now here's where, for me, the trauma, we can move on from Terrence.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
He's getting shifty over there.
He's like, I want to fucking heat the ship.
For me now, no, I don't mind. I don't mind. I just want to say all the time. I want to talk about the VA. For me now, the problem is now I feel like I've been rewired. So now I'm grieving the relationship that I thought we were going to have because that relationship does not exist in the now. In the now,
did you build it?
I think
with all the right materials and the right tools. Did you? You just said that you weren't doing the thing that would have made her a good support for you.
I think that one thing doesn't necessarily mean that the whole thing wasn't built right.
Sure,
I could agree that
of course
there's a crack in the foundation, right?
I guarantee you there was beautiful things that were working great. That's why you guys got together. That's all awesome. But again, what makes it break down without having the foundation not building right? I mean, you build one side crooked of the house, right? Everything's going to start getting more and more off center. That's how building works, right? So if even a little bit.
And I thought the walls were the house don't fall when the walls are good, right? So I thought the walls were built well. Obviously, we were exposed. I think the things that are happening now, where when it went south, the degree to which she needed validation to justify her actions. Hey, everybody come look at what I'm doing over here and support me in doing this. That's what I'm replaying. So now as she's saying, well, hey, congratulations, you got that weight off you. Wow, you're really strong. I'm so proud of you. Now I'm in the place where now I'm stronger than I've ever been, right? Things are going the right direction. Yeah. Now you're coming in going, oh, I'm so proud of you. Wow, you're so strong. You really did that. Good job. I knew you could do it. And I'm like numb to all of that. And I know it's a me thing, but it's like now
justice
all
thing,
of the it could be
protection and
for me it's I go to that one. I don't ever went to justice, but that's a good word. I like that word. I've never went to justice, but I go to protection. The protection now is okay, cool. So jump back in the ring. Let's go back to the gym together. And then if the weight gets heavy again, what do I get to look forward to? Are you going to, or am I going to support you right this time as we both bear the weight? Or are you going to run out and find people to go, oh, look, I was wrong. He is failing again. Look, y'all, look. So for me now, it's this place of she's posting and like, oh, I love my husband. I'm so great. I'm so proud of him. So great. And I'm like, it feels empty. Like there's nothing. There's no, like when I see it, I actually, when I see it, I legit cringe.
Because you don't trust it.
I don't believe any of it.
Yeah.
I think it's all
for show.
I think no. I think it's for show. That's my perception of what she's doing. I'm not saying it is for show for her, but I am saying that the ego of a woman is incredibly strong, and it needs the validation of other people to get fed. Like it just feeds off that validation,
or the validation from their husband. Yeah,
or that. But it feeds that shit, right? The problem is now. You got fed by everyone else outside to do the things that you felt you were justified in doing. Now here we are. We're like, oh, that shit that I was doing didn't work out, and now you're bait, you're strong. So now I'm gonna come back to you. Now you're asking me to trust you to get back in the ring. Number one. Number two, you're asking me to feel like to handle my pain. Again, I have to do more of the lifting to get us to get back to where we were, to rebuild the foundation. That I can admit that I had a hand in breaking as well. So I'm not gonna say it's all her. We did not build this the right way. And now I have to trust that if I give you the hammer to help me rebuild the thing that I do, I think having the whole house wasn't bad. We had a leaky roof.
Yeah.
And all we had to do was patch the leaky roof. Yeah. But instead of patching the leaky roof, I feel like you took a torch to it and said, fuck that house. And now I'm looking going, wow, now we got to rebuild this whole house. And you're saying you're here now, but we had built this before and then the leaky roof and then you burned it down. So like, how do we...
You have control over more than you think in all of that, God. Right? And so that I know you hate that. Well, you hate it because it comes down to responsibility, and we already beat ourselves up enough because of justice. Same reason why we hold justice against our dads, against the other person, whatever else, is the same reason we hold. At me, man. Same reason we. Same.
Hey, I'm getting hit. You getting hit? Hey, hit him with a bullet.
It's the same reason why we hold justice against ourselves. Why won't I seek out this person that I have a crush on or whatever else? Because I don't think I deserve it, because I'm punishing myself for my past mistakes or where I feel like I've done wrong or not done right, whatever else. So you've already got a capacity of how much you've sought justice over yourself. You've gotten all to this point where you're doing really well and everything else, and that's all your justice too. You like you said, the making things right are the same thing as you're still seeking that justice. So you're trying to even the scales in that way, and you don't want this to all come crashing down, because here's the thing, if she makes some sort of if the same thing happens, if the same cycle happens, right, then you think the same thing is going to happen.
My issue,
but hold on, before you start, you gave him advice you're not taking.
Well, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm a hypocrite. That's why I said it. I said it in the beginning. If you re-roll the tape, I said so I can be a hypocrite. I feel like. So I agree. I think the issue is now where I'm wanting to proceed forward is I don't, and it's this weird dichotomy of like I don't want to rebuild. I want, what? Let me say it this way. I want to rebuild the house with you.
Yeah.
But I want to build it in such a way that you could never burn it back down. I want to build it out of fire.
That's not being
fire
together.
repellent. And the problem is, I'm glad you said that, because that's the problem we're at now.
You're not giving her the keys to the house.
There's no intimacy.
You want to talk about keys? You're the only one. You're the only one with the key to your brain. No matter what happens around you, you're the only one that opens the door and lets things in. So you are absolutely capable of keeping your life where you want it to be.
Okay, so
regardless of whatever she does. So you don't have to trust her for that. Trust that you have built yourself to a point that you're not carrying too much weight to handle it or whatever else.
And that way I'm good there. But it's the relationships that can be destroyed by. So when I let you in, if I let you into like to your point, I agree with you. I can control this, and unless I let you into it, you can't destroy it. So I can, and I agree with both of you. The problem is, I don't think there's a real marriage if there's no vulnerability, there's no intimacy.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
And there's no trust. So
absolutely,
if I don't even trust you to enter into the house.
Trust is a choice, though. The more trust you give someone, the more they'll have with themselves. The more you withhold it, the more untrustworthy they become.
Yes. So I'm into that. But so for me, it's the this is the house that I'm now. This is the way I'm building life now. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, I don't want you to burn this shit the fuck down. I like it the way it is. So if I keep you out of this portion of my life, listen, you can have all of this outside of the moat, but you can't touch this.
Are you really protecting yourself that way, or are you missing opportunities? I'm sorry, but you said the same thing to him, man.
I am missing.
I got to hold you accountable.
I am. Hey, this is a Therapy Was Full podcast. We don't hold the host accountable. To be honest with you, that is what I've said. And the reason why I'm being honest is because I've said that to myself. I said there's an opportunity.
So in that situation, wouldn't it just be better to go and like, hey, listen, you torched the house once. There's this thing that I can't get over because I'm afraid that you're going to burn the house down again. And I love you, and I love you enough to move on from you and go find that person that you guys can build that house together.
I think the confusion for me with that,
or is that am I going to an extreme?
I think the confusion for me with
doing the same thing you did with your dad.
I mean,
that's my solution. Cut it off.
What, bitch? You ain't agree with me? I'm cutting you off. How's this podcast if I'm talking to you again?
You go away.
I think the point is there's a rightness to this whole thing, which is
what is that?
There's an obligation I have, and this is how I've justified where I'm at right now, and why I'm in this indecisive place of I need to make a decision.
Yeah.
I have an obligation that morally I agree to, which is I'm your husband, I'm taking care of you. Now, if I choose to no longer uphold that obligation by letting you go, that's my choice. I'm not going to hold her to some magical thing. Well, I did this because of you, because that's just me scapegoating onto her and saying, well, I didn't do this because you did. I don't like that shit. That's going to piss me off. That's justice. Yeah. I have an obligation to take care of our family and household, and I have an opportunity, which is how I was phrased, because the opportunity is for me to. And this is the tough part. The opportunity is for me to learn how to forgive somebody in that way, because I don't do that. I've never. I am again. Well, I said didn't want to be a hypocrite. I side with you. If I give you the keys to the kingdom and you burn this motherfucker down, you're done. You're out. You're gone. And it's not because I feel so strongly, but because to your point, which I'm gonna have to fucking rebuttal myself again now, playing devil's advocate with my own mind. You said I only have but so many people I can let in, and that was, to me, that was a scarcity thing to say. Like, and I felt bad for you when you said it.
Why? You
said I only have but so many people I can let in my community.
Yeah.
And that made me sad for you, because it's a scarcity.
It's you saying, hey, I'm carrying so much already. I can't reach for these things. But let me give this to both of you, and then we can
go to the
move on, whatever.
No, we're going live coach after this.
Hey, the reason why I've stuck so strongly to this, and I want you to keep going, is because this is what you do, though. You do help men coach this, and you do help them coach business.
We need to talk. You do business too.
Yeah, I do all kinds of stuff.
It's life coaching.
So, all right.
But hit us with the one fact so we can both feel like shit.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So here's the reality. Let me give you a positive, right? Something you're doing somewhat right. It can be abused.
Thanks. I mean,
but you're doing it right in a big way.
I didn't say dad.
So thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy.
Daddy didn't love me.
So
I'm calling you now.
But let me tell you. You have built all of this stuff. You're trying to protect it and everything else, because this is where you're finding your value. You had value regardless of if you built it. Let me tell you that for now, for starters. Without any of that, you already had value, okay? You didn't need to build any of that to feel this way about yourself. But here's the thing. Let me give you something positive to think about here. Since you like that performance mindset, that's you, right? You like building this, and then you feel good about yourself. You like doing that. What if you, think about it, instead of putting it on her, what if you had the capacity for her? What if you were that strong? You like lifting a lot of weight, right? You like the gym. You like challenging yourself. What if you look at this different? What if you say, hey, and first of all, if she's supported, she'll be different, period. You've already acknowledged that. But what if you had the capacity? How powerful would that make you feel? Instead of this protective thing, which is actually not power. Power is not, oh, I'm not going to lift any more weight. I'm going to cut this all off, Dustin. Power is saying, hey, I have the capacity for this because I'm not carrying all this stuff. I'm literally not carrying it anymore. And so I have the capacity for anybody who walks in my door. I have capacity, but especially my wife. And so I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to remember the things I love about her. I'm going to do this, and I don't have to feel threatened by all these things, because if I'm not spending all my energy on the negative, then I have the power. You cannot reach for the future while holding on to the past. They're in opposite directions, right? If you got both hands on the past and you're like, I'm going to protect myself from this. I'm going to protect. Have you ever tried to put your thumb at the end of a garden hose and hold back the water?
Yeah.
It works for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
And then it takes two hands. Then it takes every ounce of your energy. And one of two things will always happen, right? If you're trying to protect yourself from the past, the hurts and everything else, one of two things will always happen. Either it will build up too much pressure because you don't have control over the faucet of life and it never turns off, just up and down, right? So you're sitting there holding it. Either it will build up too much pressure and it'll explode and make a mess in your life, and then people tell you, get a hold of yourself. Okay, I'll regain control. And then I'm more tired this time when I do it, right? But here's the thing. Or you get too tired because none of us have the capacity of holding something. Even if I held a piece of grass, like in the military, you hold it out, right? Eventually that piece of grass gets really damn heavy and you can't hold it anymore. None of us can do it. You're expecting something impossible by trying to hold all of this and control all this and everything else. Here's the thing. I was terrified to take my thumb off of that because I knew all my negative emotions were in there, all my hurts and everything else. And sometimes they would come out without me wanting to. I would blow up. It would gain too much pressure and it would explode, or I would get tired because I'm working and doing all this other stuff, or I tried to reach for something. I tried to help my kids, and like your dad wanted to do, right? I try to help my kids, and I'm like, oh, I'm losing control. I'm going to help you real quick and get back. Oh God, I almost lost it. Here's the beauty. When we stop fighting these things, it stops controlling us. And we will have the capacity to reach for other things. When you take your thumb off the hose, sure, it has a lot of pressure, right? But it's pressure built up. When I used to joke in the Marine Corps after I got out, I was dealing heavy with PTSD, homeless, you name it. I did all the stuff. And at that point, I used to joke, my tear ducts dried up in the desert, which is a bunch of bullshit. Look at me. I can rip my chest hair out, whatever.
Can you do that?
I'm a man.
Can you actually rip your chest hair out?
I sure could.
Could you come in here live, guys? Therapy was full.
That's another exhibit.
Yeah, we'll get it here one episode. Subscribe to our Patreon.
Whatever. That's
a handful of Nathaniel's hair. Bam, there you go.
So here's a handful of his hair, $5 donation.
Going once, going twice. Sold. All right, here we go. So that hose though, all right, here's the thing. You cannot hold on to all this stuff and reach for anything else.
Grow up.
I know. You can't do that.
I felt him in my ear, and when you said them hoes though, and all I heard was
well, but he also did this. I was like, oh no.
Please continue. My co-host.
It's fine. We can make a whole short on that alone.
Yeah, that's the one.
Whatever. So however you hold that hose.
However you hold them. No, again. He's like, however you hold them hoes. However you hold them hoes.
Here's the beauty, without ruining the analogy entirely. I was terrified of all the emotions in that thing and all my past and everything else, and I tried to keep in control, and that's what you're trying to do by not being emotionally available to her, right? Mm-hmm. That makes you numb to her. You want to feel that. I wanted to feel, my kids would get hurt when I was back from war and everything else. They would get hurt and I would fix it. And then I'd be like, man, I'm a monster. Why don't I feel anything? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I'm holding all that back. Everything you want is in that same hose. All emotions are in the same section of our brain. And this is why we can cry when we're laughing. We can laugh when we're crying. We can feel pleasure from pain. All that stuff is in the same place. So if you're going to hold back the anger and the frustration and you're going to, control that by controlling your life, you're also holding back all your support, love, what you want to access with your wife, with your dad, wherever you're trying to do it. You're spending your energy on this instead of letting it go. Now, when you first let it go, I went from, my tear ducts dried up in the desert. I didn't cry for 6 years after my last deployment. And when I first let go of control over that, I started crying at everything. I mean, like movies and stupid stuff people would say. I'm like, what am I'm leaking? Like, what's happening? It was overwhelming. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. That pressure dies back down. And then you still have all the water that's flowing. You still have control over this. Instead of using it or fighting it or whatever else, and having this whole battle over all of these things, we're having this whole discussion for more than an hour now on all of these different ways we're trying to hold back that water. But that water is useful. No matter how wonderful and beautiful something is, or how horrible, wrong, and cruel something is, don't waste it. You don't get strong by lifting little weights. You get strong by lifting the big ones. We should look forward to that exercise and that challenge of loving your wife and letting go of your control on this hose that isn't serving you anyways. It's not giving you a more beautiful relationship, a more beautiful life. It's never going to lead to that. You're going to fight it and it's going to explode. You're going to fight it, it's going to explode. But when you take your control off of that and that pressure finally dies down, it's a little bit wacky there for a bit, but when it dies down, you still have control over this hose, which you can use to put out fires, to water your garden, to make things grow, to put out fires in other people's lives. You will have the capacity to love your dad regardless. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. When you are strong enough, it doesn't matter anymore. So if you want to be so strong and cut people off, that's not strength. Strength is the capacity, right? If you don't have capacity for that, then that's not the strong thing to do. That's the justice mindset. I'm going to get even. When we can't get even physically for things, just like me wanting to kill my dad, I knew that wouldn't give me justice. That wouldn't get anything even.
No.
Right? The only way to get even is by actually letting it go. But if we can't get even physically, like I wanted to do, what do we have control over?
He really reiterates the fact that he wanted to do that. I think he spent a lot of time thinking about that. Okay.
I did. All the time.
Or what, Firewatch?
On 24-hour Firewatch, man. That's how it would be. That's where my mind was at during that time. And I thought, oh, he's destroyed my whole life. No, like 90% of that was me.
You're destroying your own life. Yeah.
Out of justice.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people go wrong too, is like having all this stuff, have that control over you and the victim mentality, like, oh, well, I'm no good. Like, I mean, if he really had that much control over me, I should be a drug addict, alcoholic, abusing my kids. I don't. Stuff like that. No, I'm like, oh, fuck that. Well, you know what? I'm going to do things differently. And my needle keeps pressing forward. You know what I mean? Regardless of what this happened over here. It's like, hey, listen, I acknowledge what happens over here, but this over here doesn't change. This still has to be pressed forward. You still have to go about in getting this done.
I think that sounds more like the...
Both of you guys control your value by what you are accomplishing and what you're doing and how you feel you're doing in life. Both of you guys do that. You have value without that. And so does your dad, so does everybody else. Everyone has inherent value. We have this, even
that's true.
Even a school shooter.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we want justice. We want to take that guy out because he took these people out. Why did he get to that point? Well, if you study those cases over and over again, you see, okay, sexually molested, abused. He was only told by society that you don't fit in, you can't be a part of this group, you can't do this, and push down, put all this weight on, and all of a sudden, eventually, that still is a moral decision. It's a misdirection and it's a wrong direction for that moral decision, but it's still moral. It's them saying, hey, this has gotten to the point where I'm going to take people out because it's that evil to me what I see all of this is doing, right? And so even that is a moral thing. And so even they have inherent moral value. They're just misdirecting it because they've been so mistreated. And it's the same thing as us doing these smaller things, cutting this person off, doing this. I'm not going to love my wife. I don't want to trust her.
You hit the nail on the head.
I love
you hit the nail on the head.
I'm not going to emotionally let it go. Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. Come on. I can cut people out pretty easy.
Yeah.
I've been conditioned to do that my whole life.
Me too.
You know what I mean? To cut people out.
Me too. Like now, I lived miserably for a long time because of it.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe that's a. I don't.
I would argue.
I don't. No, I don't because I don't. I don't let it have that kind of control. Fuck, we're going back into this. I'm trying to go back in.
We're going to.
Hold on a second.
Would it be fair to say that you do this a lot, right? So between mental health, between helping veterans get their diagnoses, and I hope we get to that.
Hold on, we're not.
You
getting
want out of that. You want out of
no, because we're not going to have enough time for that VA stuff.
What I want to talk about,
we're going to have to have you back on,
sure,
because we have to. So the life coaching a part of this thing, because that's what we've really been doing this whole time is this life coaching part of it. How did you get into life coaching? How did you discover like, hey, this is what I want to do?
And I got by first thinking it was a joke.
Life coaching was a joke?
I totally thought it was.
Why did you think it was a joke?
Because I was working in mental health at the time, and I thought, like, well, why do we need life coaching if we got counselors? Well,
they're not life coaches.
I will tell you, where you look is where you steer in life, and if you're looking in the past, you're going to live in the past. Whether you're riding a bike, whether you're driving a car, where you look is where you naturally are drawn towards. If you look at yourself as a monster, a failure, a fuck up, whatever else it's going to be. I hope you can cuss on this thing.
No, you cannot fucking cuss.
No, fucking cussing is the worst thing you can do in fucking therapy.
But yeah, so where you look is where you steer in life, right? And so I didn't realize that in therapy, digging into all these things, all this stuff, and trying to figure it out, I was trying to justify my justice, right? And so I was trying to justify, and that's all the counselor would help me to do is just, oh, you're right in this, and yeah, that's natural for this. They're normalizing all of these reactions instead of just speaking truth into my life. So my wife had a friend who did life coaching, and she wanted to help veterans. I was working for the VA at the time at the vet centers. And so I was working in mental health, and I'm like, oh, God, okay. Well, it's my wife's friend. I can't say no. So I'll just.
Why can't he say no, ladies?
So I'm like, okay, I'll entertain this. I'll try it out, and it changed my life. 100%
Really?
changed.
She
my life.
changed your life?
100%.
Was it the way she was coaching you that changed it, or was it like? Or she changed it for the better because this is probably the wrong way to be doing this?
She, instead of trying to talk about my problems and things like that, and like counseling, it's all taking about, why are you feeling this way? And all this other, digging into it. She just said, okay, well, let's look at your whole, if you ever seen a Wheel of Life, look it up, Google it, Wheel of Life, it's all the different sections of life. She's like, okay, where do you feel about your life in all these different sections? And we just started going through each one of these sections. What do you have control over? What do you have power to fix? What do you have power to change? No one had told me I had power. No one. No one had told me I had value. Even counselors, they would say, "Oh, you're right to be messed up the way you're messed up. You're right to have PTSD, and this is your new normal. So let's find a way to deal with this." PTSD does not have to be a disorder. It's something that happened. Life doesn't give us good or bad. It gives us a fact. We get to choose how we use it and see it. And that's what she showed me. She showed me that I don't have to climb this ladder in life, and it's got to be a struggle. I convinced myself of all these beliefs.
Do you think it's something in your experience with the veterans that you do help with life coaching or mental health or even the VA stuff? Do you find that this is a common trend where people in the military specifically, I really do think this really is important for Marines that are listening to understand what I'm about to say, where we, because you mentioned several times that where we derive our definition of self-worth and value is from what we can build for other people or what we can build in general.
It's the mask that you're trying to build for people.
Is that something that you see a lot of military or just a lot of people that you help?
Everybody. It's not unique to the military, but why we join the military is value. I mean, we want to feel valuable. I wanted to offset what my dad said. My dad said I was going to live under a bridge, be homeless and useless and all this other stuff. I wanted to.
Fuck you, Dad. I'm joining the Corps.
Yeah.
To go live under a bridge and sleep on dirt. I showed you.
Boy, was he right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's God dang it, I made him right.
Anyway, so I think this is a common issue for anybody. You don't have to be a veteran. We all try to wear a mask. That's just the camouflage mask, right? And we all try to build that up and show other people this. And then one of the biggest problems in marriage is we're trying to fix each other's surface problems instead of actually trying to connect behind the mask. We see the cracks in our own mask and we try to hide them for other people. Right. Yeah. And so to hide them from other people, you point out theirs. You see their cracks. You're like, you got this crack over here. Well, you got this crack. Well, I'm not going to fix mine until you fix. and we sit there, go mask to mask, mask to mask. You take that away. And I worked in in family therapy and things like that. And I had counseled people that I'm like, okay, the more we try to talk about this problem, the bigger it becomes. Yeah. And the ways I was being trained to do that didn't make sense.
Yeah, you want to have an effective communication with your spouse.
Yeah,
or anybody else, essentially.
Yeah, but really it comes down to this. Fixing a marriage is just like fixing your relationship with your dad and having a good, positive, healthy relationship, which you can have.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But again, it's the same.
Absolutely, you can have it with your dad?
Hey, I didn't say that.
Hey,
I said
no, you just said absolutely.
You can. I said relationship.
With your dad is what he said. Did you just block that out?
Because
he put the he did not
breaks.
Editor, please replay this. He said fix that relationship with your dad, and you said, yes, you can fix that relationship.
Well, I was going with a positive relationship. I didn't say with who.
That's right.
Because relationships, it's you know, like again, like you said, building the house, he put the flame to it, caught that shit on fire, right? It's like, all right, now I've got to rebuild. I rebuilt one, same thing.
Well,
so now it's, but the relationship part of it, you know, in one thing, you said life was about lessons and learning from the lessons that have been created through the pastures that we've been walking through. And
go ahead.
What's up, bro?
That was good. It was verbatim, man.
So that's what he has done as well. So whether the good or the bad, he has shown me the light or the darkness. And which one I feel like I'm going to follow, like relationship advice. Dude's been married 4 times. Like, okay, probably not the best.
Well, he might have some good, bad answers.
He did. He did. You know, that's how I got married the first time. But I was like, all right. And I don't hate him for it.
In the Marine Corps, we used to talk about left pocket, right pocket leadership. There's things that I do well as a leader that you should, that I hope I impart upon you as great things that you want to take in and you want to exemplify. You put those things in your left pocket. There's right pocket leadership, the things that I do that make me my version of a leader that you don't agree with. Put those in your right hand because those are just as valuable. And you put those in your right pocket. They're both valuable.
Right.
Both. I believe in fairness and justice. Good, left pocket. I also believe in riding your ass if you show up late to work. That's something I find valuable. You might say, Terrence, I hear you. You know, Staff Sergeant, I hear you. But, man, like you made that dude do 150 miles for showing up late for 5 minutes. I think that's a little excessive.
Well, did you do it with him?
I mean, you better. That was hazing. I might have been in a golf cart. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
he didn't do it.
No. I would never.
He's sitting there fucking coffee. You're fucking slow, dude.
I always do it because ain't nobody get me for no hazing. But I like what you're saying. I think the big thing is as anyone reaches out to you for life coaching and all those things, this is an example of kind of what I think they get from you is it's not like the other decisions and the intermediary things that you guys are putting weight on. You have power over that. You have control.
So you said life coaching you thought it was just like a fucking gimmick.
Yeah.
You're like, man, this shit's a gimmick.
That was a joke. That was harsh. That was a harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a joke.
No, I get it. I also put that in the same realm a little bit. I did. Life coaching. I was like, man, what the fuck are these people? You know, I want to say the only analogy.
I've never
people who can't do teach.
Yeah, right.
You know,
the thing I've liked about your industry is that you're not. I wholly believe, to your point, that you know my directory is judged off where I'm looking at, and you're not looking in that direction. So as I'm going, hey, I want to build my business this way. That's why I'm hiring you or helping you direct my life or my business. I want to go this way, and that's what I've hired you to do is help me go this way. But I'm staring over here. And you're not looking at my problem with me because you're going, Terrence, this is the direction we're going. Turn your head this way, son. There you go. Don't look over there. No. Come back over here.
Will that matter if you've built your life all big and everything else? Well, you've talked about that. You feel a lot better about your life now because you've built all these things. You've worked towards that goal, and same with you. You guys have worked towards this goal. Has that made you feel better? Yes, it does. Has it made you feel stronger? It's given you more value. Now you have better strength to handle those things you weren't handling before, anyways. And so, again, it's that solution. What's giving the most results? Is it going to be digging into all of that stuff and, breaking it all apart and things like that? Sometimes, but more often than not, if you don't fix your environment and everything else around you, then you might fix that one problem and you look around and you're like, crap, I'm still in the same place.
But but that's where we go.
Stop at me.
I mean, not only do you only get life advice, business advice, but also therapeutic advice if you get his services at Nathan Sutton. But I don't know the name of it.
MD 9000.
MD 9000. So, how do you break the barrier on somebody thinking it's a gimmick? Because I think that's a majority of the people out there thinking that life coaching is a gimmick.
Yeah, so I would just explain my personal story with it. Hey, where you look is where you steer. If you're looking into your problems and digging into that, that's what counselors are for. They're for taking that all apart. But if you want to change your life based on goals and seeing your value instead of your problems, that's more what life coaching is. Life coaching is about setting goals, seeing the strengths you have that will will actually fulfill those goals, and not so much focusing on, sometimes we focus on barriers, that are getting in the way, but usually that's a small conversation, and then, hey, well, you still have the power to do it, so let's get it done.
Yeah.
So it's more future focused is what I would say life coaching is.
And I can see where counseling, I love the distinction that you made between the two, where life coaching is more forward focused, future focused. I can definitely see where counseling is more, let's reflect on the past and see how we can make and apply change in the future that will have an effect on the future.
It's behavior changing, right? That's why they call it behavioral health, right? It's behavior changing. Oh, we don't like this behavior. Let's fix that behavior. Let's play whack-a-mole with our symptoms, right? No, I want to unplug the machine.
I fucking love that.
I want to unplug the machine and go for it. I don't want to do that. I saw people, I worked in 7.5 years in mental health for the VA, and I saw veterans stuck there, Vietnam veterans stuck there for 40 plus years in counseling, and they're still dealing with the same problem. And we call it success. Oh, they don't have as many anger outbursts. Well, they're in the corner drooling because you gave them all these drugs. Like, of course not. Is that success? Where's the value in life? Where's the life value?
There's not, because it's medicated.
Yeah, but then also if I get healed, I lose all my benefits.
Oh, that's not true at all.
No, really?
That's not true. Oh, no,
Okay,
no.
So if I
No,
hold on. We are not. Nope.
We're not gonna-
shut that shit down right fucking now.
We're not gonna-
No.
Yeah.
No. You're not opening the fucking thing. Shut the fuck up.
I'm giving him a taste of it.
No.
So no. The reason why I'm bringing this up is I think one of the things that I enjoyed about meeting you for the first time, meeting you live, 'cause it was crazy because I got your number from him. I reached out. We were we were supposed to do the webinar. I missed it, but then meeting you for the first time, going, yo, this dude has so much.
Wait, he didn't show up for the webinar? Oh, imagine that.
No, but I met him at another
Yeah, I
event.
met him at a different event.
Yeah.
But no, I think meeting you there and then learning so much about what really goes into this process, and even the way you broke down the things that the things that we think are true. The VA's out to get me. They don't want me to get the help I need. And then having you stand there and say, no, like, listen, honestly, the way you broke it down, if the VA didn't care about helping you, why would they tell you how to get the help you need? And I was like,
this is why I call my life coaching Truth First Life Coaching. I'll get back on topic. Truth First Life Coaching, because you cannot do anything on false presumptive. Same thing with VA claims. If somebody's telling you something wrong, then you're going to believe that's right, and you're going to get a denial. But it's the same thing in life. You're going to get a denial in marriage, a denial with your parents, get a denial in whatever you're doing. Right?
Why are you over
I want answers on life coaching, motherfucker, not the VA. Okay? What I'm trying to do is get life coaching, not the VA. That's next time.
He's trying to give you life coaching. You over here telling him he wrong. Yeah, you're right.
I can do that,
You're
but I
right,
still
but-
see his perspective, so I'm gaining something.
You that, but I still see his big. You're a butter, right?
No, he's protecting himself. He's holding on to it. Like, hey, this is what I understand.
No, I don't agree with that.
No. Oh, now you don't want life coaching.
Yes, as long as they're fucking.
I'm still holding on to those. I don't want to reach for that.
The truth is,
I want to mute life coach.
The truth is, that's right. The truth is, he's right, and I agree with every single thing he said. The truth is there is the hose is clamped. I can definitely agree with that. I think there's still love
Do
there.
the movement.
Oh yeah.
There.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be there. You wouldn't see value in it, right? And you wouldn't be trying and holding all this weight so that you can kind of try to, because you're holding on to this stuff too. That's why it wouldn't control you otherwise, right?
Yeah.
So you holding the weight there is because you see enough value to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
That's your ass
but
too.
again, how good do you want that relationship to be?
I am.
Well, okay, and okay. So I'm glad you said that. So this is the question. So as I'm trying to build, for me, it's not so much about what I've built that gives me the pride of the validation. It's the fact that I was able to do it, and this is the first time ever this year that I've ever sat back and said, "Holy shit." I'm fucking, and it's not even about what I built. It's like, yo, I'm still fucking here, bro. Like, that shit should have crushed the fuck out of me. And I'm still here. I just got a new car. I got a new place. Like, holy shit, I did that.
Dude.
But the confusion that I know I need to let go of is, how do I bring you into the new season? When I do see you as a big cause or an antagonist, when the storm came and and I use a military analogy because I told somebody this story, and I use a military analogy. The thing I loved about the military and the Marine Corps, and the military period, doesn't matter, Marine Corps, is I knew, regardless of how we felt about each other right now as people, I don't like your hair, you don't like my undersized shirt. if the war came, we're right there.
there.
We're there together. And I never had, it doesn't matter whether you hate me because of the color of my skin, I hate you because of your sexuality. I knew when the enemy came, you had my back, and I never did this. Oh, is Dustin still back there? I never had to do that. I knew you had my back. So moving forward in this new season, and this is the thing I have to heal or let go of, I don't have that confidence and that comfort anymore. Now I see the world coming, or when I saw the world coming, you were on their side and you were coming with them. So now I'm sitting here going, okay, well now I'm ready to fight. You claim you're on my side, but that's the same thing the spy does, to stab me in the back. So now as I'm fighting, I'm doing this. Oh yeah, I got this.
Are we going to rehash this?
No, that's it. I was just telling how you help me. I was just telling how you help me out.
Go ahead.
No,
Continue.
that was done. See, you ruined it. I was almost done. You should let me cook. Plate it up. Eat it.
Cook that shit.
It's already cooked. It's already your plate. It's getting cold.
I love your passion. I love that you are willing to carry that weight for your wife, but you will be a better husband, and she will be a better wife, and you guys will have a more beautiful relationship if you put that down.
Put it down, Dustin.
Reach for the future. Stop holding on to that.
Yeah.
Just let it go, and then you will have the energy and capacity, and she won't be controlling you through that anymore. Right now, she's technically, her past mistakes are really what's controlling her. It's not hers. It's not her fault. You're the one holding on to it, right? So, but you have the power of
it's not that easy to let something like that go in the past.
It's a perspective thing.
You know what I mean? I think
it's re-triggering of older wounds that have nothing to do with her. I know for a fact, and I've already gone through like the rigmarole of it. There is triggering of older wounds that have nothing to do with her. That's all it is.
Okay.
It's just a bunch of old wounds that are all the same thing. It's just the betrayal, the counting on people reliance, and that's why I joined the Marine Corps. I joined the Marine Corps for that family, that feeling of family and unity and brotherhood.
Yeah.
And then,
if it's in the past, it no longer exists though, and it only exists in your memory, which your memory is not 100%, and so you're living in an imagination world.
I hope you're listening to what he just said.
Period.
No shit.
You are.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It's
That's powerful.
It's not real what you're imagining, because you're making a decision based off of this isolated this belief that you've developed on only the negative attributes, not her possibility and her possibility with your strength now. You're not adding in all the information, and so you're living in an imagination world and making decisions off of imagination, not reality. The reality is relationships are fluid, and if both people are actually supporting each other, they'll both do better. If you are pulling aside and trying to live as individuals and you're protecting yourself in that way, then you're actually you're making that thing come true.
No, that's fair.
Well, one thing I have really, so this episode, I don't know what we're going to call this episode, but
I think it was snazzy name.
It ain't Daddy Issues number 2.
It was like 45 minutes of Daddy Issues.
I know, man. But if one thing that you've been watching this episode, that what he brings to the table as a life coach is not the sense that you would think that you're really a coach.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right word.
No,
because
there was no word for it. That's why I developed a new thing called Truth First Life Coaching, because again, the life coaching also wasn't complete to me either. Counseling wasn't. I didn't like that world. Life coaching wasn't. I didn't like that world because the life coaching was missing that truth, the beliefs, and that moral core that we have, and everything else. Nothing addressed that for me. Not any of that.
But, how many life coaches have you talked to?
Oh, at this point,
how many come 50? With values that you bring to the table?
Don't have him shit on his
some of them
on the podcast. Damn.
Some of them.
Well, no, because and I'm gonna speak from my experience.
Sure.
I have not, I want to be completely honest. Sure. I did not know you're a life coach. We have never talked about
because I don't sell my services that way. I'm very particular on who I life coach these days. Just FYI. I want to invest in people who are looking to invest in other people because I want exponential results for my efforts.
Abundance,
right? And I don't care about how much money I make from it. I don't care about money at all for any of my company stuff or anything. So a lot of my life coaching is free, but I like building individuals that are building, kingdoms of individuals. And like what you guys are trying to do here.
I got a moat.
So, hey.
That's his kingdom.
I like that. Yeah, that's super unique. because I don't think most coaching has that kind of perspective that I've seen.
No.
And this is just
most of it's just the goals and how you're going to meet the goals and improve your life, which is great.
Yeah.
That's way better than digging into all your problems and convincing yourself that the world's the problem, they're the problem, you're right, and you're also the problem, and it's all problems oriented, which causes issues.
3 books as a life coach, 1 personal, 1 business, and the third one's on you. Which ones?
Oh gosh. Oh man, you're putting me on the spot for I'm terrible with names. I've got pretty bad TBI, so I got word dysphoria. But so I will send you 3.
All right.
I'll physically.
No, that's fair enough.
one really great one for the kind of to fit 2 of those really. Okay, because you said for life coaching and for
so like a personal book, like
personal book.
Yeah, some like maybe personal growth.
Yeah.
Like
this solves both of those. What was the third one?
The third one.
Anyone that I want.
But the second one was business.
Yeah, so one that fits all 3 is the Bible. Just more wisdom in there than any other book. But if you're looking for just off the shelf books, Miracle Equation.
Okay.
Holy cow, really darn good book that solves
for business.
Solves too. Not just for it's for business, yes, but it's also for personal. So look at the Miracle Equation and then also the Miracle Morning. Both of those amazing books. It will. I promise you. Like I will only give you one book there.
But Miracle Equation and Miracle Morning.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So amazing.
And the Bible.
And the Bible. So that's
what we're gonna do. We're gonna have an episode where we have the Miracle Morning. Or which one would you read? Like we got to make a promise right now. Which one are you going to actually read?
I would say for your guys' situation,
issues
because you guys are so performance oriented. I would say you'll get more intellectually excited about Miracle Equation, but you guys will get more actionables from Miracle Morning. That's whichever one you want to pursue.
We should read the Miracle Morning.
Yep.
And we're gonna have it. Well, we got 2 episodes coming back. We're gonna have a Miracle Morning chat where we get to all chat about what we took from it.
Okay.
And we're gonna find out who didn't read the book.
It's on.
You know, because I can listen. I can listen.
It's on Audible. So.
He does not. Challenge accepted. We're reading versus Audible. We're gonna see which one does it.
Awesome, man. Nathan, it's been absolutely a pleasure having you on the show, man. We've dived deep into some of our traumas, and it gave us new perspective, actually, to look at it, which is, I think that's unique. I think
is this something you would do? Like, I'm just wondering, is this something you would do with a life coach? Like, as a life coach, like, is this something you would do when you first meet me and you decide, hey, am I going to take Terrence?
These are the tools I used to change my life, not just, there's the old ups and downs, but a constant trajectory of upwards. And I'll say it this way. When I was writing my book, I interviewed a bunch of people, and this one guy who had worked for a gospel mission in Everett, Washington for over 40 years. And I asked him this question: what takes someone from hopeless, homeless, and stuck to a point where they're consistently better? Consistently, right? I'll never forget what he said. He said, I can do without a lot of things, even food. There's so many food programs out there. I can do without housing. I can do without all of these things because there's homeless people who, have very limited resources in those areas. What I can't do without, if I want them to actually have an upwards trajectory, is I have to connect them with at least one person in their life who gives them consistent value. That was so powerful for me because I realized that's what I was seeking. That kind of changed a big section of my life. You cannot sure you can also be that person. You can be your own person who gives you consistent value, kind of like what you're saying. You've done this all in your own strength. Well, it's because you're giving yourself value. You're feeding back into that fuel, and then that fuels you, right? So anyway, yes, this is what I do. And in that same area, I want to tell you a quick story. And this is just kind of a picture of where our world is at. And this is the moment in my life where I decided to write a book, and I decided to go full on with all this stuff and develop my program and everything else. I had tons of letters from people saying, "Oh, you changed my life. Nobody's ever talked about these things before." And like you said, a lot of this stuff is a unique perspective, that a lot of people don't have. And I got a lot of those letters. I got a lot of feedback. And I'm like, whatever. I didn't want to value myself. So I'm like, I'm not going to accept that. But there was this 73-year-old. And when I met him, I was a homeless coordinator. I had guns pulled on me, all kinds of stuff, for 8 years for the VA. I met some angry people on drugs and things like that. But this 73-year-old was the angriest man I've ever met in my life. Like I didn't even get to say who I was. He was throwing things in my office, making threats for the office and everything else. At this point, I had figured out some of these answers for myself, and I'd been helping people some through my life coaching. And I went through the same spiel with him that I kind of went through, some of these facts, these truths in life, these truth first things. I went through some of the same stuff with him, and I didn't think much about it. And I didn't see him again for 9 months. I had about a 3-hour conversation with him because I had to calm him down and everything else. Usually it's about an hour spiel. But for a 3-hour conversation, this 73-year-old, I didn't see him for about 9 months. And about 8 or 9 months, he came back in to see me, waited 2.5 hours to see me. I didn't know who he was. I went out and grabbed more people because there's always a long wait because I did VA claims. And so there's always a long wait to see me. So I'd come grab another person, finally get to him. 2.5 hours he'd been sitting there. If I knew it was him, I would have immediately, he had a red flag in our system. He's high risk. He's all these other things. I would have brought him back. And so when I brought him back, I didn't even recognize him until he was sitting in this chair. I looked him up in the system and I'm like, oh, it's him. I'm so sorry for making you wait. And he's like, hey, whoa, it's fine. He's like, I didn't come in for help today. I just came in. He waited 2.5 hours to say this. I wanted to say thank you, and I'll never forget what he said next. And this is what made me actually go public with all this information, right? He said, I wanted to thank you, and so thank you. Because in 73 years of my life, not one person has ever really talked to me, the real me, the moral core. He said that people are still doing the same things that used to set me off, and I felt out of control. And he had a lot of issues, right? But now I want to hug him. I see where it's coming from. I fixed things with my family. I did all this stuff. And he also said, I never told him to do this. He also said, I stopped taking all my medications 9 months ago. As soon as I saw you, and after that conversation, I stopped taking all my medications except for my diabetes medication. And I've never felt better in my life. And he said, at 73 years old, I feel like I'm starting my life over. And I'm like, holy crap, this guy. Now, let me give you the context of this. This 73-year-old, when I met him, had been in counseling for 47 years. 47 years. He had been in a mental institution twice. He even did electroshock therapy back when that was cool. Right? He tried every medication. I didn't know any medications more than what he had taken. He had tried everything that our society has to give. And he felt like not one person, 47 years of counseling, not one person has really talked to him. And no one has showed to him the fact that his anger is not a problem. It comes from his morals. You cannot get angry about something you don't care about. So it's a care issue, not an anger issue. You care. That's how I know you are wonderful and beautiful and amazing, because you care. It's misdirected when you turn it into anger, assault, and all these other things, right? But you can't get angry or sad about something you don't care about. And so that's the inherent value in all of us. Your dad, protecting himself through anger or through numbness or through all these things. He doesn't want to blow up on you. So he doesn't want to access this stuff. And so he cares. All of this comes down to that and that inherent value. And so that statement from him changed my life in a sense, because that gave me if I can change him, anybody can change
anybody.
Dude, that guy was off the rails. I thought I would have had no effect on him. But and now to this day, or at least for up until COVID, I got him a volunteer job at the gospel mission, and he was just helping more people and just telling.
Do you know where he's at today or no?
I don't know since COVID. We haven't connected since COVID, but
because you no longer work at the VA.
I'm not in Washington.
So you don't have access
anymore.
to it. Yeah,
I'm not in Washington.
Is this in Washington?
This is in Washington. State,
yeah, all right.
So, but either way, but that was a lasting change. For 6 years, he was doing that, at least until I lost contact with him. So, but that's the thing, is everyone has that capacity, but we're all told false things. And so truth is at the core of it all. And understanding the inherent value means you have no right to get angry. What would you ask God to forgive you of? Well, gosh, it's a lot more than whatever I'm holding against them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what right do we have? And is it serving us? No, it's not. Never. Anyway, that's my closing.
Dude, that was awesome. That's remarkable, man. Thank you, Nathan, for coming on. This isn't the last time. We definitely have to have you on because there's two other things we got to talk about, and then we got to do the,
morning.
Yeah,
see,
the morning what?
Book already.
No, morning miracle.
Miracle morning.
Miracle morning. Okay, hey, I got it.
You're
What's up? Okay.
You're doing good.
We'll send this off.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I appreciate having you again. I think one of the things I've enjoyed about meeting you and talking with you is how insightful you are, both in VA knowledge and life coaching knowledge, and just overall life, just life knowledge. I said it right. I feel better the first time. Instagram. Are you on Instagram? Because I'm sure.
Oh, great question.
Crap couldn't find him. No. I was like, message him on the DMs.
I am trying to get onto social media now. Okay. I'm trying to break that. When I deployed. So when I joined the Marine Corps, I was 17, and it was 2001. So flip phones just came out.
Motorola Razr. Motorola Razr.
That's right. I deployed with one of those. So. Yeah. But so by the time I came back from my third deployment in 2008, all I had done was train, deploy. I got back and Facebook's a thing and all this stuff. Yeah. MySpace was over. Things came and went. So for me, social media has been a thing. I just hired a marketing agent who is going to help me set all that up. So come January, I will have some channels, and then maybe next time I'm on, I'll talk about that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
we'll make sure you get on there. And we got some good stuff coming up. So yeah, we're super excited to have them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next time we're gonna be talking about the VA, what the do's and the don'ts. Maybe I don't know, and how you get your fucking money. That's right. What you're entitled to.
And all the misconceptions. There's more misinformation than information out there. Let me break all that down for you next time.
Absolutely, man.
Look forward to it. Awesome. Well, guys, that is Therapy Was Full. You guys got to watch a live therapy session between Dustin and I. Let us know in the comment section which one of us received the therapy better. I feel like it was me. Look, it definitely wasn't him. He's literally going to walk out of here. I might call my wife. He's definitely not going to call his dad. So let's be honest. I received it better. If you like this episode, comment, subscribe, and definitely feel free to reach out to us. And we will get socials for Nathan. As soon as the socials are available, we will drop them in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.
Till next time.